Hey there, everybody. This is Ms. Bashman, and we are about to do Chrysanthemum Sumie painting. So for this painting, we're going to be pulling out our black and our gray, just like we have for all the other Sumie paintings that we've done, as well as yellow and red. So you can use the same red you did for the plum blossom and the same yellow that you used for the orchid. We're going to be doing an Asiatic chrysanthemum. You know, chrysanthemums come out in the fall. They're kind of a ball-shaped flower. The Asiatic chrysanthemums have like these petals that are just kind of stringy and hang off a little bit more full than the American chrysanthemums that you're probably used to seeing. So we're going to use a chrysanthemum brush or an orchid brush, which is the smaller bristled brush. And we're going to start our flower by rolling our paintbrush in the yellow paint or ink, wiping off the excess so we get a nice tip. And we're just going to lay down the bristles to create a sideways oval. Not too big, right there. I'm not in the middle of my page. I'm like, maybe like 2/3 of the way up. And I'm not in the center. I'm off to the side a little bit. So this is going to be the center of our flower. Now, the chrysanthemum uses the similar petal shape that we learned in orchid, but we're making it much smaller and much more controlled. Now we want these petals that we're about to lay down, we want them to be small and we want them to overlap and all move from the center of the flower towards the sunlight. Remember, always plants, their leaves, their branches, their petals are always growing towards the sun to try and catch that light. So it's almost going to look like parentheses or commas. And you want them to overlap. It's okay to overlap the center. It's okay to overlap each other. And you notice I'm just kind of laying the petals down, laying the bristles down. And I'm letting them get a little bit bigger or longer. I'm going further away from the center here. Kind of looks like flames. That's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to clean my brush off, dry it off on the paper towel so I don't have a lot of water. Remember, especially when you're working with these smaller brushes, if you have too much water on them, it's going to show. Because you get that watermark. You don't want that. So, oh, sorry. My phone is not on silent. So now I'm loading with red. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to overlap and go a little bit further out than I did with, I'm going to turn my phone on silent for you guys, and then I did with the yellow petals. This can take some practice. A lot of people have a tendency to not quite get the shape right. It'll be too oval, too circular. Their petals might not be going in the right direction right away. Their petals will be too thin or too thick. You got to play with it. This one takes some practice. And look at pictures of mums too. If you aren't sure what kind of flower you're doing, it can be difficult to picture it in your head. Remember, we're trying to capture the essence of this flower. I'm just doing some wonky petals down here at the bottom. So that's probably good for my big blossom. So I want to do a half opened blossom over here. So I'm going to clean my brush off with the red, dry it off real good. And this time, I am not going to do a center. I'm just going to do a couple of petals in a row, like that. Because I'm looking at the blossom head on. Here, the blossom's kind of tilted towards us so we can see the center of the blossom. Here, we're not. It's on an oblique angle. So I did my yellow, cleaning it off, drying it off, switching to red. And again, I'm overlapping. Just doing a couple of petals like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to do the stalk and leaves. For the stalk and the leaves, we're switching to our larger brush. I'm going to load it with some black, some gray, and like a little bit of the tip in black. And similar to the sideways motion that we used for the plum blossom and the or the bamboo, we're going to use that sideways motion. But this time we're going from the flower to the ground, and we're going skinny to fat. And I'm going to leave a gap for some leaves. So watch what I'm doing. I'm using the edge, starting out relatively skinny, going a little fatter. I stop, I lift up, I go down here, and I get fat here to the base. I'm going to roll in black here, create a section here for that, a little fatter. So I've left a gap here and here that I'm going to put some leaves in. The leaves for the chrysanthemum, you'll have to look at some photos to see what they look like. They're big, they're fat, they're lumpy. So we're going to use our large brush, load it with gray, roll the tip in black so we get two different tones on here. And just like we did, again, when we were doing the bamboo and doing the plum blossom branch, I'm using the side of the bristles. And over here. You see how that made that kind of lumpy leaf shape? So I show you how I did again. I'm going to do a little bit of a smaller leaf. This is a leaf that's kind of like facing me. Use the side. Did some lumpiness there, some lumpiness there. So I have two leaves facing that way. Up here, I'm going to have a smaller leaf. Maybe it's just on its side. So I just see a little bit of it. I don't see all of it. Kind of let it be pointy there. And you see how the leaves kind of fit into that little gap that we had. I'm going to let that dry for a second. So now I'm going to switch to black. Nice and solid black. Roll the tip of my paintbrush in the black. Wipe it off. I'm going to add veins to my leaves. You ever look at leaves and see how they have those nice veins? Kind of reach out towards the edges of the leaves. This one's on its side, so you're going to have a vein there and there. Like that. And that is how we do chrysanthemum. And just for funsies, because why not? Take a little bit of yellow. Lay something down like that. Oh, this is going to be cute. A little bit of gray. A little bit of black again. Just do a little bumblebee. All right. Move this a little closer so you can see. There we have our chrysanthemum and a bumblebee. Isn't he cute? Can you see? There's a bumblebee. It's adorable. So remember, you're going to practice this 3 times on your newsprint. Take pictures of it and upload it to your Artsonia page. All right. Thanks.